is that the groins, which run perpendicular to the shoreline, are in disrepair and are not doing their job of slowing the speed of the water, causing the particles of sand to be deposited onto our beaches. We have a low tide today, so we'll be able to see what is left of the 7 groins that were originally here at Second Beach. Another thing we're going to look at will be the erosion problem caused by the slapping of the waves along the shoreline in the position where the picnic tables are, and showing how constant wave erosion has eaten away and has left a clay barrier that is all that is left of our beach now, other than the sand that now sits on top of it. We are right now in the process of coming up with a 3-section plan to renovate Driftwood Beach. Phase 1 will be the obtaining of the permits from the Corps of Army Engineers, which has jurisdiction over all work done on the shorelines and into the Chesapeake Bay, and also the permits which are required from the Department of Natural Resources that has control over anything that is attached to the land along the Chesapeake Bay. So we require 2 permits. The other thing is the repair of the groins, which we will discuss later, and also prevention of the wave erosion along the shoreline. So bear with us and sit back and enjoy. As you can see, one of our groins, even though it is low tide, is not doing any type of a job at all. It is almost completely submerged underwater, other than the 3 or 4 large boulders that we have showing at this point. As we come along down through this area, you will find that there are no groins at all. It has completely disappeared. We have a little bit of chop here today that will serve its purpose also. Now we're coming up on one of the typical groins that we have here now that are in disrepair. As you can see, the waves break over it continuously. It is well out of the water. It's one of the better ones, but because we have this low tide today, we get a chance to see a little bit better of what its purpose is to be. We're now going to look at this one groin here in particular. As you can see, the waters or the waves are battering against it. It is a low one. It only extends out into the water approximately 25 feet. As we come back into the shoreline, as you notice, we have sand built up behind the groin. And this is one of the things that we hope to correct in Phase 3, which we'll discuss later. Let me pan down through there one more time so you can see there's some old roots of an old tree that used to be out where the beach used to be, where the picnic area used to be 5 years ago. Now we're looking at the groin again. We're now looking from the beach back towards the parking lot. We're now at the base of the steps. It looks like a big step anyhow. And this is where we're having the problem caused by the wave action hitting against the base of the picnic area. As you can see, it does tear out quite a bit of the sand. Most of it is now clay. There is some sand at the base, but this comes and goes along with the the storms that we have. Now, we get a storm out of the northeast with the flow of the current coming from Cove Point down towards Drum Point. Then we get an action that takes all of the sand that is left on the beach, strips it away, and deposits it further south. Why this is, we don't know. It seems to be a phenomena of the currents, and it just happens to be one of those things. Here we've moved a little bit further south along the beach to give you an idea. In the background are the picnic tables, and to give you an idea of just what we're talking about as far as a mini cliff. Part of the problems that we have here, which is even worse, is the fact that we have trees along this beach. And if you look closely, you will see that the wave action has undermined and tunneled underneath the trees back into the roots. This is going to cause this tree, as you can see, the roots are all hanging out there. It's going to cause this tree to do one of two things. It's either going to die very shortly because the fact that its roots are not pulling up any nourishment, or we're going to have a storm and we're going to lose it that way. Now, this is a pretty substantial tree that we have here, one of several. Another name for Driftwood Beach is also, or for the reason it gets its name is for the drifting woods, but it's also the only hardwood beach on the Chesapeake Bay. Hardwood trees actually growing right down to the water's edge. And it would be a shame to lose this unique situation. We're now looking at one of the groins at the south end of Driftwood Beach to show you an example of what has been done in the past. Mixed in with the boulders and the small rocks are slabs of concrete. These were put in probably in the last 10 years by the Phillipson family. Concrete is now taboo to be used as groins. We can only use rock. So we have a problem coming up with concrete that was used at the furthermost end. What can be done about it, I don't know. We're going to talk to the engineers. We may build up around them. But these jetties, or groins, are in better shape than the others. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of sand that has been deposited behind these jetties. So these are working, or these groins, I'm sorry. So these are working. They can be repaired. They should be repaired. But at this point, they are doing somewhat of a decent job. We are now at Seahorse Beach, where the groins were repaired approximately 2 years ago. And as you can see, the sand has been brought back to its natural state, where the beach has actually overrun the groins themselves. This is the way we hope will come out at Driftwood Beach. This has only taken, as I said earlier, a little bit more than 2 years. So this is what we hope will happen up at Driftwood Beach. This presentation has been brought to you by your environmental committee, working in your behalf for a better Chesapeake Ranch Estates. Bill Hopkins, narrator. Good morning.